talking about other things.
Who do you think did it?
What?
You've been up to the top. Didn't sign the bed yet.
Well, it's very early still.
Oh, yes, I know. Still the fellow brings the milk and the bread and all that. Sure think you've got for this. What's going to be breakfast
Go to
yet?
dinner?
Don't let's
Oh,
bother.
no, where's that fellow Rogers?
Don't let's bother about breakfast.
How's the weather looking? Wind's pushing about it. Rather a madmal sky. Old boy on the train yesterday said we were due for dirty weather. Shouldn't wonder if it wasn't right.
He talks
He
to
said boat would come. We need to get off this island. The sooner the better. Absurd that they don't keep a boat here on the island.
No proper harbor. If the wind comes to blow from the southeast, a boat would get dashed to pieces against the rocks.
What about would be able to make it to us from the mainland?
No, Miss Brent. That's just what it wouldn't.
Are you saying we should be cut off from the land?
Yes. Condensed milk, fried meat, and tinned stuff until the gale blowed itself out. But you needed for it. The sea's only a bit choppy.
I think the pleasures of living on an island are rather overrated.
I wonder if that blasted boat will ever come. Knowing that this house is built slap up against the cliff face, you can't see the mainland until you go to the top. Should we go up again?
It's no good, Doctor. Watch pot never boils. There was no sign of a boat putting out when we were up there just now.
Look at this fellow Narracott.
They're all like that in Devon, never hurry themselves.
Where's Rogers? I think should be about.
If you ask me, Master Rogers seemed pretty badly rattled last night.
Yes. Ghastly, the whole thing.
The wind up properly. I take it even meant that him and his old wife did do the overhanging.
Really think so?
Well, I've never seen a man more scared. Guilty as hell, I should say.
Fantastic. The whole thing. Fantastic.
I say. Suppose he's hopped it.
Who, Rogers? How could he? There's no boat on the island. You just said so.
Yes, I know that, but I've been thinking. We've only Roger's word for that. Suppose there is one, and he's nipped off it at the first thing.
Oh, no. You wouldn't be allowed to leave the island.
Sleep well, General.
I dream. Yes, I dream.
I don't wonder at that.
I dreamed of Leslie, my wife, you know.
I wish Narracott would come.
Who is Narracott?
The bloke who brought us over yesterday afternoon.
Was it only yesterday?
Yes, I feel that way too. Fatty gramophone records, suicide. Suicide, all this. It's all a man can stand. I shan't be sorry to see the back of Soldier Island. I give you my word.
So, you don't understand. Strange.
What's that, General?
I don't like the look of him.
I reckon young Marston's suicide must have been a pretty bad shock to him. He looks years older now.
Where is the poor young woman now?
In the study, put her there myself.
Dr. Armstrong, I suppose it was suicide.
What else could it be?
I don't know, but suicide.
You know, it is a pretty funny feeling late in the night. This Mr. Unknown Owen. Suppose he's on the island. Rogers may know, or he may have told him to say so. Afterthought, isn't it?
But, could someone have tampered with Marston's drink without one of us seeing?
Well, it was standing up there. Anyone could have slipped a bell of cyanide in it if they'd wanted to. But
Oh, there you are, sir. I've been all over the place looking for you. Could you come up and have a look at my wife, sir?
Yes, of course. She's still feeling under the weather.
She's.
You won't leave the island alone.
Wish the boat had come. I hate this place.
I think the sooner we can get in touch with the police, the better.
The police?
The police have to be notified in the case of a suicide, Miss Claythorne.
Yes. Yes, of
And
course.
I think
What's going on here?
Foster
No
was trying to
time to
say
eat
his
breakfast.
wife was dead. He didn't say it.
Are you hungry, General?
Leslie! Leslie, my dear!
No, I'm not. I'm Vera Claythorne.
Of course. Forgive me. My wife, you know, I was looking for her.
Oh. I thought your wife was dead. Long ago.
No, she's here with us on this island. Good morning.
Good morning, Captain Lombard.
Good morning. Seems I overslept myself. Out here yet?
No.
A bit late, isn't it?
Yes.
Good morning. You know, you and I could have a swim before breakfast. Too bad all this.
Too bad you overslept yourself.
You must have pretty good nerves to sleep like that.
Nothing makes me lose my sleep.
Didn't dream of any African natives by any chance.
Yeah. Did you dream of convicts in Dartmoor?
Now look here, I don't think that's funny, Captain Lombard.
Well, you started it, you know. I'm hungry. What about breakfast?
The whole domestic staff seems to have gone on strike.
Well, we could always forage for ourselves.
Oh, hello. That's strange.
What is?
Remember we found one of these little fellows smashed last night?
Yes, that not to leave 9.
That ought to leave 9. I'm certain there were 10 of them when we arrived.
And?
There are only 8.
Huh. So there are.
I think it's queer, don't you?
Probably only 9 to begin with. We assumed 10 because of the nursery rhyme. Oh, hello, Armstrong, what's the matter? Mrs. Rogers is dead.
How?
Died in his sleep. Rogers assumed she was still under the influence of the sleeping draught I gave her last evening. It's not to disturb her. He came down here, lit the kitchen fire, did this room. She had not yet appeared, so we went back upstairs. Didn't like the look of her, so he came looking for me. She's been dead about 5 hours, I should say.
What was it, heart?
Impossible to say.
After all, she had a pretty bad shock last night.
Yes.
She could have been poisoned, I suppose, Doctor.
It's entirely possible.
Same stuff as young Marston?
No, not cyanide. It may have been a hypnotic or narcotic, some kind of barbiturate or chloral, something like that.
You gave her some sleeping powders last night, didn't you?
Yes, mother's luminol.
Didn't give her too much, did you?
Of course not. What do you mean?
All right, no thanks, no thanks. I just merely thought if she'd had a weak heart.
Now, Doctor, if this death had occurred in the case of one of your private practice patients, what would have been your procedure?
Well, without having prior knowledge of the woman's state of health, I certainly could not issue a certificate.
Well, she was a very nervous-looking creature. She had a bad fright last night. Perhaps it was heart failure?
Well, her heart certainly failed to beat, but what caused it to fail?
Conscience?
What exactly do you mean by that, Miss Brent?
You all saw her last night. She was accused together with her husband of murdering a former employer. Old lady.
And do you believe that's true, Miss Brent?
Yes, you all saw her last night. She broke down completely and fainted. The shock of having a wicked niece brought home to her was too much. She literally died of fear.
Well, it's one possible theory, but for one to adopt it, one must have a greater knowledge of their prior state of health. If there was some latent cardiac rhythm.
Call it, if you prefer, an act of God.
Oh, no, Miss Brent.
You regard it as impossible that a sinner should be struck down by the wrath of God. I do not.
My dear lady, in my experience of evil doing, providence leaves the work of conviction and chastisement to us mortals. And the process is often fraught with difficulties. There are no shortcuts.
Let's be practical. What did the woman have to eat and drink last night after she went to bed?
Nothing.
Nothing at all. Not a cup of tea or a glass of water. I'll bet you she had a cup of tea. That's what sort of always does.
Rogers assures me she had nothing.
Well, he might say so.
So that's your idea.
Well, why not? You heard the accusation last night. What if it's true? Miss Brent thinks it is for one. Rogers and his wife did the old lady in. They're feeling quite safe and happy about it.
Happy?
Well, they know there's no immediate danger to them. Then last night some lunatic goes and spills the beans. And what happens? It's the woman cracks. Goes to pieces. Did you see her husband hanging around her when she was coming to? Not all husbandly solicitude. Not in their sweet life. He was like a cat on hot bricks. And that's the position. They've done a murder and got away with it. But if it's all going to be raked up again now, it's the woman that will give the show away. She hadn't got the nerve to brazen it out. She's a living danger to her husband, that's what she is. And him, he's all right. He'll go on lying till the cows come home. But he can't be sure of her. So what does he do? He drops a nice little dollop of something into a nice cup of tea, and when she's had it, he washes up the cup and saucer and tells the doctor she's had nothing.
Oh, no, that's impossible. A man wouldn't do that. Not to his wife.
You'd be surprised, Miss Claythorne, what some husbands would do.
Excuse me, miss. I'm getting on with breakfast. I'm not much of a hand as a cook, I'm afraid. It's lunch that's worrying. Would cold tongue and gelatin be satisfactory? I could manage some potatoes and there's canned fruit and cheese and biscuits.
That'll be fine, Roger.
Lunch?
What did he say to her?
Lunch? We shan't be here for lunch! When the hell's that boat coming?
Mr. Bull!
I
What?
beg your pardon, sir, but the boat won't be coming.
What?
Fred Narcott's always here before meat. Is there anything else you require?
No. Thank you, Rogers.
And it's not Rogers. His wife lying downstairs, and there he is, cooking breakfast and calmly talking about lunch. And now he says the boat will be coming. How the hell does he know?
Mr. Bull!
What?
Can't you see? He's dazed. He's just carrying on automatically as a good servant would. Well, it's pathetic, really.
He's pulling a fast one, if you ask me.
I think the really significant point is the failure of the boat to arrive. It means that we have been deliberately cut off from help.
There's very little time. Very little time.
What's that, General?
There's very little time. We mustn't waste it talking about things that don't matter.
Yes.
Why do you suppose Narracott hasn't turned up yet?
I think the ubiquitous Mr. Owen has given orders.
You mean told him it's a practical joke or something of that kind?
He wouldn't fall for that, would he?
Why not? Soldiers Island's got that reputation for people having crazy parties. This is just another crazy idea, that's all. Narracott knows there's food and drink on the island, so he probably thinks it's all just a huge joke.
Couldn't we light a bonfire up at the top of the island so that they'd see it?
Probably been provided against. All signals are to be ignored. Cut off, all right.
Well, can't we do something?
Yes, we can do something. We can find the funny gentleman who staged this little joke. Mr. Unknown. I'll bet you anything you like, he's somewhere on the island. And the sooner we get to him, the better, because in my opinion, he's as mad as a hatter and as dangerous as a rattlesnake.
That is hardly a good simile, Captain Lombard. The rattlesnake at least gives warning of its approach.
warning. My God, yes! There! That's our warning. 10 little soldier boys. There were 10 of us at the narrow cut left, weren't there? 10 little soldier boys going out to dine. One choked his little self, and then there were 9. Mostyn choked herself, didn't she? And then 9 little soldier boys sat up very late. One overslept himself. Overslept himself? That last part fits Mrs. Rogers' description, doesn't it?
Well, you don't think... Well, you mean that he wants to kill us all?
Yes, I think he does.
And each one fits with that rhyme?
No, it's impossible. It's coincidence. It must be coincidence.
There are 8 little soldier boys here. I suppose that's just coincidence, too. What do you think, Law?
I don't like it. But there's nobody on the island.
I'm not so sure of that.
This is terrible. None of us will ever leave this island.
Can't somebody shut up, Grandpa?
Don't you agree with me, Sir Lawrence?
Up to a point, yes.
Then the sooner we get to him, the better. Come on, Armstrong. Come on, Law. We'll make short work of it.
I'm ready. Now, nobody's got a revolver by any chance. I suppose that's too much to hope for.
I've got one.
Well,
I'll always carry it about with you.
Usually. I've been in a tight place before, you know.
Yes. Well, you've probably never been in a tighter place than you are today. If there is a homicidal maniac hiding on the island, he probably has a whole arsenal on him. If he'll use it.
That's where you're wrong, Law. Most homicidal maniacs are very quiet, unassuming people.
Yeah, delightful fellows.
You're not ready to tell them from anyone else.
Well, if Mr. Owen turns out to be one of that kind, we'll leave him to you, Doctor. Now then, let's make a start. I suggest Lombard search the house while we do the island.
Right, house ought to be easy. No sliding panels or secret doors.
Mind doesn't get to you before you get him.
Now, don't worry. But you two better stick together. Remember, one got left behind.
Come on, Armstrong.
Very energetic fellow, that Captain Lombard.
Well, don't you think he's right? If there is someone hiding on the island, that they're bound to find him. Well, it's practically bedrock.
I think this problem requires brain rather than brawn to solve it, my dear.
Where are you going?
I am going to sit in the sun and think, my dear lady.
Where did I put that extra skein of wool? Did you leave it upstairs? Shall I go see if I can find it?
No.
I'll go. I know where it's likely to be. I'm glad Captain Lombard's got a revolver.
They're just wasting time. Wasting time, you know.
Do you think so?
Oh, yes. It's much better to just sit here and wait.
Wait, for what?
Why, for the end, of course. I wished I could find Leslie.
Your wife?
Yes. How I wish you'd known her. She was so pretty, so gay.
Was she?
Yes. And I loved her very much. Of course, I was quite a bit older than she was. She was only 27. Arthur Richmond was only 26. It was my 86. Leslie liked him. We used to talk of music and plays together. And she would tease him and make fun of him. I was pleased. I thought she was taking a motherly interest in a boy. Damn fool, wasn't I? No fool like an old fool. It's quite like a book where I found out. When I was out in France, and she wrote to both of us. Put the letters in the wrong envelope. So I knew.
Oh, no.
It's all right, my dear. It was such a long time ago. But you see, I loved her very much, and I believed in her. I said anything to him. Let it gather in here. Slow, murderous rage. Damn young hypocrite! I liked the boy. Trusted him.
I wonder what the others are doing.
I sent him to his death.
Oh,
Oh, it's all quite easy. Mistakes were being made all the time. All anyone could ever say was that I'd lost my nerve a bit. Made a blunder. Sacrificed one of my best men. Yes, it was quite easy. Leslie never knew. I never said anything to her. We went on as before, but somehow nothing was quite real anymore. She died of pneumonia. She had a heart-shaped face, gray eyes, brown hair that curled.
oh, don't.
Yes, I suppose in a way it was murder. Curious murder. Always been such a law-abiding man. Didn't feel like it at the time. Serves him damn well right, I thought. Then, later, well, you know,
What do you mean?
you don't understand. I thought that you would. I thought that you'd be glad, too, that the end was near. Oh, you're so very young. You haven't got to it yet. The relief, the blessed relief when you know that you've done with it all. You haven't got to carry the burden any longer.
General.
Oh, don't talk to me that way! Don't understand. I want to sit and wait. Wait for Leslie to come for me.
Brighton. Oh, right.
All correct. No secret doors, one corpse.
Oh, don't.
Say, you do look low. How about a drink to steady your nerves?
A drink? 2 corpses at 9 o'clock in the morning, and all you can say is, have a drink. An old man called white crackers, have a drink. 10 people accused of murder, that's fine, have a drink. Well, everything's fine so long as you have a drink.
All right, stay toasty.
You're nothing but an adventurer, a waster. You make me tired.
I say, you are Agatha. What's the matter, my sweet?
I'm not your sweet.
I'm sorry. I rather thought you were.
Well, you can think again.
Oh, calm down. You know you don't really feel like that. We've got something in common, you and I. Rogues and murderers can't fall in
Oh,
love.
rogues and murderers.
Okay. So you don't like the company of rogues and murderers, and you won't have a drink. I suppose I'll just go and finish searching the house.
Unpleasant young man. Is something the matter? I'm worried about the general. He really is ill, I think. I've got this. Looking out for the boat! General! His sinners call up to him. Don't. One must face the facts. Well, can any of us really afford to throw stones? Even if his wife was no better than she should be. And she must have been a depraved woman. He had no right taking judgment into his own hands.
Well, what about Beatrice Taylor? Who? That was the name, wasn't it?
Oh. You're referring to that absurd accusation about myself, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, now that we're alone, I would like to tell you the facts of the case. You know what? I want you to hear them all. It wasn't fit to discuss before the gentlemen last night, so naturally I refused to say a word. That girl, Beatrice Taylor, was in my service. I was very pleased with her. She was very clean and willing. Well, that was all sheer hypocrisy. It wasn't until later that I found out that she was what they call in trouble. It took great shock to me, which was sad. Her parents were pleasant people too. I'm glad to say they didn't condone that kind of behavior either.
What happened?
Naturally, I refused to keep her under my roof. No one shall ever say I condoned immorality.
Did she drown herself?
Yes,
How old was she?
17.
Only 17.
Quite old enough to know how to behave. I told her what a low, depraved thing she was. I told her that she was beyond the pale, and that no one would want her back in their house. I told her that that child was a child of sin, and that no man would ever dream of marrying her. I told her that I felt soiled, even having her under my roof.
You told a girl, 17. All that.
Yes. And I'm glad to say it broke her down utterly.
Poor little devil.
I have no patience with this indulgence towards sin.
And then I suppose you turned her out of the house.
Of course.
She didn't dare go home. What did it feel like when you found out that she had drowned herself?
Feel like?
Yes. Well, didn't you blame yourself?
Certainly not. I have nothing with which to reproach myself.
I believe you really feel that way. That makes it even more horrible.
That girl's unbalanced. The heathens are sunk down in the pit that they made. In the net which they hid is their own foot taken. The Lord is known by the judgment. He executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands.
Breakfast is ready.
Be quiet. The wicked shall be turned into hell.
Excuse me, do you know of a gentleman on this?
Sir Lawrence Wargrave is sitting out in the sun. Dr. Armstrong and Mr. Blow are still searching the island. I shouldn't bother about them.
Shall not the isle shake at the sound of the fall? When the wounded cry, when the slaughter is made in the midst of thee.
Shall we go?
I don't feel like eating.
Breakfast is ready.
Then all the princes of the sea shall come down from their thrones and lay away their robes and put off their broidered garments. They shall clothe themselves with trembling. They shall sit upon the ground, and they shall tremble at every moment and be astonished at thee.
Read aloud, Miss Brown.
It's my custom to read a portion of the Bible every day.
I see. Very good habit, I'm sure.
Oh, what luck did you have?
There's no cover on the island anywhere. No caves. No place for anyone to hide.
That's right. What about the house, Lombard?
No one. Save my life, there's no one in the house but ourselves. I've been over from attic to cellar.
Breakfast is getting cold.
Breakfast! Come on, boy, you've been yelping about breakfast ever since you got up. Let's eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. Or, who knows, perhaps even today.
You ought to be ashamed of such levity, Captain Lombard.
Come on, General! Cut up this! Breakfast, I say, sir!
Oh my God!
Good God. No one left behind. Sir Matthew Mackenzie's back!
He's dead. He's dead.
He can't be. How? There's only us on the island.
Exactly, my dear fellow. Don't you realize this clever, cunning criminal is constantly one stage ahead of us? That he always knows exactly what we are going to do and makes his plans accordingly? There's only one place where a successful murderer could hide and have a reasonable chance of getting away with it.
One place where?
Here, in this room. Mr. Owen is one of us.
One of those little battery operated ones. Hand warmers. Put my sweaters, my sleeves down a little bit. So we don't leave those lights up too long.
Sir Lawrence,
Well, Mr. Rohr?
I wanted to get you alone. You were right in what you said this morning. This damn murderer is one of us. I think I know which one.
Really?
Have you heard of the Lizzie Borden case? America. Old couple killed with an axe in the middle of the morning. The only person who could have done it was the daughter. A respectable, middle-aged spinster. Incredible. So incredible, they acquitted her. But they never found any other explanation.
Your answer to the problem is Miss Brent.
I tell you, that woman is as mad as a hatter. Religious mad, I tell you. She's the one, and we must watch her.
Really? I had formed the impression that your suspicions were in another quarter.
Yes, but I've changed my mind. I'll tell you why. She's not scared. And she seems to be the only one who isn't. Why? Because she knows quite well she's in no danger. Hush, hush.
We've made some coffee. Oh, it's cold in here.
You'd hardly believe it when you think what a beautiful day it was this morning.
Captain Lombard and Roger still out.
Yes, no boat will put out in this. Couldn't land anyway.
Miss Brent.
Or allow me.
I will say that you were right on our insisting on going to lunch and drinking some brandy with it. I feel better.
The court always adjourns for lunch.
All the same, it's a nightmare. It seems as though it can't be true. What are we going to do about it?
I think we should hold an informal court of inquiry. That way we can eliminate some innocent people.
You haven't got a hunch of any kind, have you, Miss Clayton?
Mr. Bloor, if Miss Claythorne suspects one of us three, it's a rather awkward question.
I'm sure it isn't any of you. I would say Dr. Armstrong.
Armstrong?
Yes, because don't you see, he's had far and away the best chance to kill Mrs. Rogers. Terribly easy for him, being a doctor, to give her an overdose of sleeping stuff.
That's true. But someone else gave her the brandy, remember?
Her husband had a good chance to administer a drug.
Oh, it isn't Rogers. He hadn't got the brains to fix all this stunt, nor the money. Besides, you can see he's scared stiff.
Oh!
Oh! Oh! Oh! Oh!
My God, it's something of a storm.
It's just you. Well, who did you think it was? Beatrice Taylor.
I hope of rescue until this dies down. Is that coffee? Good. I'm taking to coffee now, you see.
Oh, such restraint in the face of danger is nothing short of heroic.
I don't claim to be a weather prophet, but I think it highly unlikely that a boat could reach us, even if it knew of our plight, in under 24 hours. Even if the wind dies down, the sea still has to drop.
You're awfully wet.
Is anyone a swimmer? Would it be possible to swim to the mainland?
It's over a mile, and in this sea you'd be dashed on the rocks and drowned.
Drowned. Drowned in the pond.
Beg your pardon, French?
After dinner now.
It's terribly cold in here.
I could light a fire if you'd like, miss.
That would be a good idea.
Very soundscape, Rogers.
Does anyone know what's become of the upstairs bathroom curtain?
Really, Rogers, are you going bats too?
The bathroom crypt.
Yes, sir. Scarlet oil silk. It's missing.
Anybody seen a scarlet oil silk curtain? No good, I'm afraid, Rogers.
It's nothing, sir. I just thought it was odd.
Ev-
So
Everything on this island is odd.
I'll get a few sticks and a couple knobs of coal and get a fine fire going.
Oh, I wonder if he would like some hot coffee. Well, he's awfully wet. Rogers! Rogers!
What's become of Armstrong?
Well, he went to his room for a rest.
Well, someone's probably back to him one by now.
I am sure that he had the good sense to bolt his door.
Won't be so easy now that we're all on our guard.
I would advise you, Mr. Floor, not to be too confident. I'd certainly like to propose certain measures of safety I think we all should adopt
Against whom?
against each other. We are in grave danger. 10 of us who came to this island, 3 are definitely cleared. That leaves 7. 7 little soldiers.
One of whom was a boat's little soldier boy.
Exactly.
Well, despite what Mr. Claythorne said just now, I'd say that you, Sir Lawrence, and Dr. Armstrong are above suspicion. Well, he's a well-known doctor, and, well, you're known all over England.
Mr. Bloor, that hardly proves anything. Judges have gone mad before. So have doctors. So have policemen.
Here, here. Oh, does he want some coffee?
He said he'd rather make himself a nice cup of tea. What about Dr. Armstrong? We ought to take him a cup.
I'll take it up if you like.
I'll take it. I want to change.
Yes, you ought to. You'll catch a cold.
But I think Dr. Armstrong might prefer that I take it. He might not unbolt his door to you. He might be afraid of your revolver.
Oh, yes, that revolver. I wanted a word with you about that.
Do go and change.
What were you going to say?
I'd like to know why you decided to bring a revolver down here on what's supposed to be a little social visit.
Oh, you do you? I've led a rather adventurous life. I've gotten into the habit of taking a revolver about with me. I've been in a bit of a jam once or twice. It is a pleasant feeling, having a gun handy. Don't you agree?
We don't carry them. Now then, I want the truth about this,
What
right?
a damn suspicious fellow you are, Lord.
Well, I know a fishy story when I hear one.
If it's about that revolver, I would like to hear what you've got to say.
Well, I got a letter asking me to come here as the guest of Mr. and Mrs. Owen. It would be worth my while. The writer said he had heard I've got a reputation for being a good man in a tight place. There might be some danger, but I'd be all right. I just kept my eyes open.
I wouldn't have fallen for that.
Well, I did. I was bored. God, how I was bored back in the state country. It was an intriguing proposition, you must admit.
Too vague for my liking.
That was the whole charm. It aroused my curiosity.
Well, curiosity killed the cat.
Yes, quite.
Oh, do go and change, please.
I'm going, my sweet, I'm going. The maternal instinct, I think it's called.
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
That's a tall story. If it's true, why didn't he tell it to us last night?
You might think that this is the exact type of emergency that he had been prepared for.
Perhaps it is.
I hardly think so. I think this is Mr. Owen's bit of cheese to lure him into the same trap as the rest of us. He apparently knew his will and well enough to rouse his curiosity.
Well, if it's true, he's a wrong in that, man. I wouldn't trust him in the yard.
Well, are you such a good judge of truth?
Well, you must get out of here. You must get out of here before it's too late.
One thing we must not do is give away to nerves.
Yes, I'm sorry. Case of physician heal thyself. We've been in a lot of stress lately and a bit run down.
Sleeping badly?
Yes, dreaming of hospitals, operations, knife in my throat.
Real nightmares.
Yes. Tell me, do you often dream of sitting in court, sending a man to death?
If by that you are referring to one Edward Seaton, I should assure you, Doctor, that I should lose no sleep over Seaton. He was a brutal and cold-blooded murderer. Now, the jury liked him, I could tell. They were inclined to let him off. But I hooked Seaton's goose.
It's cold in here, isn't it?
I wish Rogers would hurry up.
Yes, Rogers. What's come of him? He's been a long time.
He said he'd got to get some sticks.
My God! Six!
My God!
Is there no one none? Are there only six?
There are only 5.
5?
Rogers and Lombard.
Oh no, not Philip!
Rogers! Rogers! Let's blow off to like a madman.
Oh, Philip,
Have you seen Rogers?
No, why should I?
There are 2 more soldiers gone.
2?
I thought it was you.
What is it?
In the scullery.
Is he?
Yes. He's dead, all right.
How?
With an axe. Someone must have come out from behind him when he was bent over the woodbox.
One chopped himself in half, and then there were 6.
She'll be all right. What's next? Bees. Bees. Do they keep bees somewhere on the island? Well, that's the next verse, isn't it? 6 little soldier boys playing with a hive. A bumblebee stung one, and then there were 5. A bumblebee stung one. Well, we all look pretty spry. Nothing wrong with any of us. My God. You don't think? A hypodermic syringe.
The modern beastie.
While she was sitting there, one of us.
One of us.
Which of us?
Uh-oh.